Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Sunday, the 8th of October 2023. In today's Millwall news, we start off with this from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. It's Brian Tonks' pitch gallery from Millwall's 2-2 draw against Hull City, including some pictures from outside with the fans. I don't believe they're in any order. I think that's Joe Bryan celebrating after scoring that amazing goal that he thread through the three players in the whole box. Jake Cooper there. So some fans posing for photos there, knowing that photos are being taken of them, some not. That looks like the end of the match. And that must have obviously been in the first half, Danny McNamara there. Now, this popped up this morning, kind of a weird one. Kind of an opinion piece from the Football League paper, which is theleaguepaper.com. Gary's rebuild has to pay off quickly. So, okay, let's have a read of this then. Gary Rowett has spent 4 years in charge of Millwall and rarely has his position felt so perilous. Tuesday night's 2-0 victory at Plymouth relieved the pressure, but it will not change the prevailing mood of unrest and dissatisfaction bubbling around the Den. Rowett, probably for the first time in his tenure, is in trouble. How has it come to this? We are talking here about a man who's guided the Lions to 3 of their highest 4 finishes in the last 20 years, on a budget that wouldn't look out of place in League One. Well, if we had the budget we've got now in League One, we'll walk the league every season. Last season, but for a final day collapse, they would have reached the playoffs. Or hello, did the answer's literally in the sentence there. Not even a final day collapse. 45 minutes of the final day collapse is literally there. And it's symptomatic of something that's happening that you can see that Gary Rowett, when push comes to shove, he can't get it over the line. He can't do that final thing that gets it where it needs to get to. And that's us getting to the playoffs. That's in other things in his career about doing things with other clubs. The cup games are dog shit. So even if we did get into the playoffs, how would that be? Because you play all the league season to get in the playoffs, and then that turns into a cup competition. You've got a semi-final home and away, and then a final. How have our cup performances been under Gary Rowett? They've been fucking atrocious. Insanely bad. So even if we would have got to the playoffs, is there any confidence that we would have done anything in those playoffs? I don't think so. Attendances too are booming. Millwall's season average of 14,766 last term was their best since the days of Sheringham and Cascarino. On paper, the club is thriving. Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny, but it just proves that advertising works. I don't know about you, but I'm constantly bombarded by the club. It's like they're your ex-girlfriend. They're emailing you several times a day, saying, "Where are you? Where are you? When are you coming back to the Den? Come to the Den. Why aren't you at the Den today?" So it just proves that if once you get on their mailing list and they bombard you with emails, there must be some people out there who are like, "Oh, shall we go to the Den today?" And they probably don't even realise why they're doing that for. It's because you've literally been bombarded all the time by Millwall's emails. So that's clearly working for them. because our home form is dog shit. And if you actually had a critical thought and you thought about what you were doing and why you were doing it, you probably would save your money and go to away games. Probably get treated better at away games, or some away games anyway, by the local police and whatever. Yet supporters bayed for Rowett's departure after August 3-1 defeat at Norwich, and matters have not been helped by 3-0 hidings at home to Leeds and Swansea. If you're a fan and you spend a lot of time and money on following your club, and you can say what you want, admitted Rowett, but I did find it hurtful. That things. So that quote isn't referenced and mentioned, but that's the quote that he found after. That was a quote that came after the Norwich defeat, where the fans saying, "Oh, your football's shit." That things aren't quite right is obvious. Prior to those ugly defeats, Millwall hadn't lost at home by more than a single goal for over 2 years. Statistically and visually, they appear less resilient than the sides of recent years. For Rowett, that's a problem. Supporters have always grumbled about what they perceive as a direct and unimaginative playing style under the 49-year-old, anchored by defensive organisation and largely reliant on set pieces for goals, which have dried up, haven't they? We scored one the other day, or we scored one yesterday. Results, though, have always justified performances. If that stops happening, and many would say it already has, then those supporters can legitimately question what they are getting for their money. As ever in such situations, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm not a Millwall fan, and I don't buy a ticket at the Den every week, so I'm not going to tell them what to think. Blackburn fans unhappy with Tony Mowbray were frequently warned to be careful what they wish for, but the Ewood fan base is clearly more content watching their team under Jean Dal Thomason, even though their results are broadly similar. Equally, it's important to point out that Millwall are a team in transition. The side that lost to Swansea featured 5 summer signings, 4 of whom comprised the entire midfield. Fifth, Kevin Nisbet was up front alongside Duncan Watmore, a player who himself only arrived in the January window. Rowett has also switched to a back three, something that he tried without success last term in an attempt to get more players at the top end of the pitch. It's clearly the way he sees Millwall evolving long term, with greater numbers in attacking areas mitigating the club's inability to sign elite strikers. And that's a lot of change for any club to absorb, and it is perhaps unsurprising that a degree of solidity and cohesion has been lost. Even Jurgen Klopp, a manager who's won everything there is to win, couldn't avert a significant dip in performance when Liverpool were overhauled last season. Can Rowett above emulate Klopp and ride out the rebuild? His record at the Den certainly merits a season's grace, and he is trying to give supporters what they want. Ultimately, though, Rowett's fate will depend on whether the current murmurings of unrest become a tsunami of discontent. No manager can withstand that. Obviously, this piece was in yesterday's or today's paper. It doesn't mention in any way yesterday's results. I think it's probably written before then. It's probably supposed to be in last week's paper, but they probably didn't bother with it, or it was written after the midweek game. Yeah, like what are we doing in this league? Like, not saying that we deserve playoffs or we should be getting in the playoffs, but if you're not getting better each year, then what are you doing? And if you're standing still, you're going backwards because you need to move forwards. And not only that, but so much money has been spent bringing in these players who are supposed to make us contenders and give us that final push. And we've let players go, and it's telling that the players we let go, they've gone to like League 2 clubs and League 1 clubs, and they're barely making an impact there. I think the only one who is young Isaac Alofi this season, who's like one of the league's top scorer, and that's in League 2. But other than that, so we've improved the squad, and the results ain't improving, and the performances ain't improving, and it looks like we're getting worse. But here we go. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. He's clearly. I don't think he's going to leave before the end of the season. So if we get to the end of the season and we're not in the playoffs, then where do we go from there? Is he going to ask for more money to be spent to improve the team? And then they say, well, no, because you've had the money. That was supposed to improve the team and get us into the playoffs. That hasn't happened. So then once that happens, and what does he walk then? Does he throw his toys out of the pram and walk? Do the attendances start dropping next season? Season ticket holders, obviously this season we've had record season ticket holders. People paying their money to get season tickets. If we don't improve that next season, that's obviously going backwards. And that's going to be hard to improve on that. So it does feel all around this season is do or die. This is like the pinnacle. If you don't get it done in this season, then we've got to move on in some way, because it feels like you've had your 7 years of feast and we've got 7 years of famine coming up. The cycle is about to turn. You can't keep going along like this. There's going to be a time when it retracts, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Now, moving on to the stats. If you're not going to stick around, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. If you are going to stick around, here we go. This is from whoscored.com. It's some numbers about yesterday's game. They've given the man of the match to Joe Bryan, which statistics we don't really know how they do this stuff. So the website we're going to go on at the end of the video does have more raw numbers. It doesn't give any ratings, it just gives the raw numbers. So we'll see if Joe Bryan is a standout candidate for this. Match summary. Millwall stole the ball often from the opposition. Were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities through individual skill. Indeed. Were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from set pieces. Were strong at finishing. Hull were effective at creating goal scoring opportunities from through balls. Were strong at finishing. But they committed a high number of individual errors. They favoured long shots and attacked down the left side. And here we go. So 13-8 shots, attempts, whatever. 9-6 open play, 4-2 set pieces. And that means that Millwall with the 2 goals from 13 shots is a 15% conversion rate. And for Hull it's 2 from 8, so that's 25, which is quite high again. But I don't know what he could really do with that. Maybe obviously the goal regarding Danny Mack heading it across the goal to no one when no one was there. Should Bart have stayed where he was? Why did he come out? I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. I think you've got to pin that on Danny Mack, and I think a lot of people have. So here's the attacking sides. Most teams going down the wings. Shot directions. Shot zones. As a whole, with 2/3 of their shots from outside the box. Action zones. Barely any and a half. I'm surprised it's that low for the away third of all the shit they were doing with the passing out from the keeper. Absolutely atrocious. Boring shit style of play of football. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Player positions. Average. Hull obviously pretty spread out. Looks like they were playing 4-2-2-2. Millwall. There you go. So you've got Ryan Leonard having to drop back. Casper Denor going forward a bit more. So obviously they were going down their left-hand side, our right-hand side, which is where Danny Mack and Ryan Leonard are. You got Kevin Nisbet quite out front on his own. That's because he was having to chase down all this jiggery pokery and do a lot of pressing. So yeah, there you go. Moving on, obviously Joe Bryan playing further forward as well. Moving on to another section of whoscored.com to see the match events. Obviously, here we go. Goals in the first half. Cards for Millwall, plenty of cards for Millwall, 2 for them. And Gary Rowett making a bold decision yet again to make changes at half time. Now I don't know if he knew this. Maybe he did know. If he didn't know this is shocking that he didn't know this. But so you would have to assume that he did. But he's only just started doing this. That you have 3 occasions to make substitutes, but you get a 4th if you make the substitutions at half time. See, if he didn't know that, that's pretty shocking because he's only just started to do that. Maybe he didn't want to upset people. But when you've got Danny Mack playing the way he was playing, that's like you can't get upset if you get taken off. And then Duncan Watmore obviously was injured, so maybe that was an easy one. But if you're a manager and you want to pull people off at half time, you're going to be upsetting a lot of people, getting noses put out of joint. That's going to be hard working with people going forward, isn't it? So maybe that's why he hasn't been doing it. But when you have an obvious opportunity to do it, like I said, with Danny Mack playing badly, I don't know if he seemed to. If he was wrong from the start, maybe did he have an illness or something? But it seemed like when he contributed to that goal, he got a bit shaky after that. I think he was probably a bit gutted and probably affected by what was happening with the comments from the crowd. So I don't know if there's anything going on there behind the scenes, but yeah, not too good. So obviously those changes would come out second half. 10 minutes into the second half, boom. We got the goal back, and could have had more. Imaku had a good chance that he put over the bar. Other chances as well. So in the second half it was a lot better, but I think that was because Hull thought that they were done and dusted, that they could just sit back for 45 minutes and defend, especially with that stupid shit they were doing with the goal kicks. And it didn't work out that way. You can't defend for 45 minutes. You can't do it. You simply can't do it and get away with it, and they didn't. And they nearly come unstuck. And as you saw, they were time wasting all the way to the end. And the man just clashed at the end over it. So here we go. If you look at the top left and top right by the club badges, the average player rating is 6.52 for Millwall and 6.56 for Hull. So pretty even there. Very, very close. So pretty fair that would be a draw. Both goalkeepers having a low rating. Error given to McNamara, error that led to goal. Same for McLaughlin, but he got 6.6, but Danny Mack got 4.9. That's the lowest I've seen for quite some time. As I said, Joe Bryan given 7.8, man of the match. Far and above, so apparently he was way ahead of the next 2 Millwall players behind him, which is Casper Denor and Zion Fleming with 7 each. Watmore only got 6.9. I thought Watmore was quite an attacking threat in that first half, and shame to see him go off. He's working very hard to try and bring Nisbet and Fleming into the game with these passing and runs and stuff, creating movement where there was none. So yes. So let's go down. These are the player ratings, as you've seen. If we move on to total shots, so who had the shots from Millwall? Everyone, basically, except for Harding and McNamara. Obviously, they're pressing back, defending from the the guys, the Hull coming down that left hand side with Philogene, who had 3 shots, got 1 goal, got 1 assist. But Nisbet with 2, Cooper with 2. So Brian, 1 shot, 1 goal. What more? 1 shot, 1 goal. That's not bad, isn't it? Possession 46 to 53. So even with all their jiggery pokery at the back, and you can see McLaughlin there 9.1. I think the error they gave to him must have been from the free kick that led to Watmore's goal. I think it must have been him who kind of jumped and kind of let the ball hit him, and it went off to Watmore to smash in. That must have been the error that they gave. But you can see they're quite low for Hull, only 53%. And you can see, so who is it? Obviously Casper Denor and Harding, 6.9, 6.8. Pass success percentage, both teams pretty even, 85 to 88. Dribbles 12 to 6. So obviously you can see the 2 players coming off the bench providing the movement. SA and Norton Cuffy, 3 dribbles each. Aerials 1, 13 to 27. So yeah, pumping long balls up to wee Jimmy Nisbet. Wee Kevin Nisbet. Not really working, is it? Not really working. And you can see Bradshaw when he came on, 1-2 aerials. But yeah, not the best. Not the best. Jones and McLaughlin and Greaves, the 3 centre backs for Hull, just mopping up all the aerial duels. Tackles though, 22 to 8. So there you go. Insane amount of tackles from Millwall, 22 to 8. Everyone except for Watmore and Nisbet winning the tackle. Corners 5 to 1. These are the players who won the corners, not took corners. Dispossessed, having the ball taken off you, 6 to 15. Philogene 6. So you've seen that. We'll move on to this now, also from whoscored.com, as we go through the list of stats. So we've got the ratings: 7.82 for Joe Bryan with the goal. And then 7.04 for Zion Fleming, 7.03 Casper Denor, and then 6.94 for Duncan Watmore. I think that's probably about right. Don't know why Joe Bryan's so high. He did play well, but I would probably give my man of the match to Casper Denor, to be honest with you. And the current boo boy of the Millwall fans, Alan Campbell, next in line, 5th with 6.77. So we had, was it 13 shots? How many were on target though? Doesn't look like many. 4. So to get 2 goals from 4 shots on target, lovely jubbly. That's pretty good stuff there. Pretty good stuff. Okay. Touches of the ball. Who had the most touches of the ball? Denore, Wes Harding, Jake Cooper, 88, 87, 83. It's quite high for us. We're normally like in the 50s, so obviously Hull not really pressing, kind of sitting back. Doing that dopey stuff and then hitting long balls through and trying to do that. Offensive stuff. Got anything? Is this going to load? No, it's not going to load. Defensive stuff. Tackles. Harding and Casper Denor, 4 each. Then Jake Cooper and Campbell with 3. Ryan Leonard, Zion Fleming with 2. How far down does that go? How many tackles did we do in that game? Romain Essay, 10 minutes on the pitch, 1 tackle. So everyone with a tackle except for Nisbet, Watmore, and Barr, and Odomu. Interceptions. Harding and Fleming with 2. Joe Bryan with 2. Clearances again. Wes Harding, top of the pops, 4. Then Jake Cooper and Ryan Leonard and Danny McNamara. Blocked shots, 1. So only 1 blocked shot. How many shots did they have? Did it say 8? It said 8, didn't it? So how many of those were on target? Yeah, that looks like 8. So they had 8 shots, 3 on target. So to get 2 goals from 3 shots on target, that's not too good defensive wise. So yeah. So of their 8 shots, 3 were on target, 1 was blocked, 1 was saved, I guess. Passing wise, so passing accuracy has got to be no. Romain Esse 100 off 11. That's not bad. That's quite a decent sample size. 11 passes, 100%. Then George Saville 94.1 off of 17 with what was that? 25 minutes on the pitch. Joe Bryan 93.5 of 46. Casper de Nord. Oh, so that's probably why Joe Bryan's got a decent score there as well, because of that. 2 key passes as well. And Casper de Nord dropping down 88.2 of 76 passes. So crosses and accurate crosses 10 and 3. Obviously, Joe Bryan taking free kicks and corners. 2 and 0 for George Saville. Book Norton Cuffy 2 and 1. 2 and 0 Fleming, 2 and 0 Leonard. Long balls and accurate long balls 15 to AJ Cooper. More long balls than Bart, who had 12 and 4 accurate. And Wes Harding 11-9. That's not bad. So there you go. So a day to forget for Danny McNamara. I think we're probably going to see him dropped in the next game, which is Preston away, unless something happens to Norton Cuffy when he's with England under 21s. But hopefully Danny Mac can shake that off and figure out a few things. Don't know what's going on there, but we shall see. So, moving on to the final piece, which is looking at fbref.com, which is just purely the numbers, and one of the numbers we get from this that we don't get from the other website is the XG, which is in the middle under the 2-2, and you can see 1.2 XG for Millwall, 1.1 for Hull. So we did have better of chances, although like we've just seen, we had 13 shots, they had 8. So there you go. We had 4 shots on target, they had 3. So pretty even there. Pretty even. Okay, let's scroll down. There's the match events. Okay, thanks for that. Team stats. Here we go. Passing accuracy, obviously they're 87 to 82 with their anti-football that they were playing. They had 38% of their shots on target, which is 3 of 8. We had 4 of 13 saves, so 1 save was made by Bart, only 1, and 2 was made by their goalkeeper, former Millwall and Ryan Allsop. Here's more numbers. So we've got 18 to 7 fouls, 5 to 1 corners, 22 to 12 crosses, 625 to 694 touches. 22 to 8 tackles, 8 to 4 interceptions, 13 to 26 aerials, 1, 15 to 25 clearances. So they had to do a lot more clearing of their lines. 1 to 0 offside, 5 to 3 goal kicks, 21 to 10 throw-ins, 78 to 60 long balls. Here are the Millwall numbers for this game: 2 goals, 1 assist. 13 shots, 4 on target, 4 yellow cards, 625 touches, 22 tackles, 8 interceptions and 8 blocks. And these are the players who did it. So in terms of, as we've seen, Casper de Nord 4 tackles, Wes Harding 4. So yeah, Wes Harding looks like, again, he had another game. And again, why hasn't he been starting? 2 games in a row, he's been absolute fire. In different systems both times, in the back 3 and in the back 2. Yeah, it's again going back to that story. Like, what's that? Why are the fans on Gary Rowett's back? Wes Harding comes on against Birmingham, plays an absolute blinder, and we don't see him again for a couple of weeks. And when we do see him again, he plays an absolute blinder. 2 games in a row. Maybe he's a shit trainer. Maybe he goes up to train, he's really lazy, he doesn't try. But fuck me, like, what are we doing here? So there you go. You got to wonder why is he not starting? Why is he not playing? Is it loyalty to Murray Wallace? You've got players like Ryan Leonard, Murray Wallace, Sean Hutchinson. They're getting old. They might be gone. Their legs might be gone in the next season or two, which I assume is why the last 2 seasons we've had 2 young centre backs on loan in Cresswell and Ballard. So it's not like clearly Gary Rowett must know that. And then we get this guy in who seems to be half decent, and he's being left out of the squad for the older members who might be on the turn. So let's have a look and see what can we see by looking at these numbers. So the XG 1.2 for the team, and you can see it broken down here. 0.3 for Watmore, 0.2 for Nisbet, 0.2 for Adomu Maku. Yeah, he had that really good chance. That one shot that Adomu had was 0.2. Kevin Nisbet had 2 shots, and that totaled up to 0.2. So Adomu's one chance was equal to Kevin Nisbet's 2 in terms of quality. He just got a bit nervous and just snatched it, didn't he? Adomu. Expected assists. You got Romanesing 0.2. Or coming off the bench with 10 minutes to go. Expected assists. And shot creating actions. The players who were setting up the shots and setting up the goals and stuff. Goal creating actions. So here we go. The Joe Bryan goal creating action got 2 of them. That's probably why he got the highest ranking on that other website. 7 and 2, so 7 shot creating actions. Then we've got Casper Lenore with 4. We've got Duncan Watmore with 3. He only played 45 minutes, remember. So if he was fit to goal the whole game, how would that have been? And then you've got Brooke Norton Cuffey with 3 again in 45 minutes, just in the second half. So there you go. What else can we see? So Danny McNamara's passing down 76.9, which doesn't seem that bad but when you compare it to the rest of the players who were all in the 80s, he does stand out. You've got obviously the players further up front, their passing completion will be down because they're trying to pass to someone who's probably surrounded by whole defenders. So obviously that will be going down. So you see the likes of Tom Bradshaw with 71% completion, Idomu with 60, Duncan Watmore with 75. So if you're a defender and you're not really under that pressure, and you've got an easy ball to your left hand side in Wes Harding and probably Casper Norman and Ryan Leonard in front of you, and your completion 76.9, that's not good at all, is it? Progressive passes. Okay. Passes that move the ball towards the opponent's goal line at least 10 yards. And that's Casper Lenore doing that. So he's playing more attacking in this game. Was it the Plymouth game? He was dropping back and doing defending. So he can do it all. He's, what do you call it, box to box. He's proper box to box lad, he is. You want him to defend, he can do that. You want him to go forward, he can do that. You got Ryan with 8. Joe Bryan with 5. So there you go. They're the ones bringing it forward. Which is how it should be. The defenders pass it off to them and they bring it forward. So dribbling, take-ons, 14 attempted, 12 succeeded. So not too bad. Norton Cuffey 3 and 3. Romanessi 3 and 3. As we've seen, this is basically dribbling and trying to get past people. Pretty much everyone did it. No one really failed except for Danny McNamara 1 and 0. Everyone who tried to dribble past someone succeeded, except for Danny and Kevin Nisbet once. So there you go. What else can we look at? So here is the total distance of passing. In terms of distance, yeah, look, you've got in terms of yards on the pitch, 1,280 for Casper Lenore, 1,496 for Wes Harding, 1,312 Jake Cooper. But then you look, so how much of that is actually going forward? And you can see probably Casper Lenore stands out. That's more, just under half going forward. Bart Biakowski, obviously, with his goal kicks, they always go forward. You can't really pass it sideways unless you're a whole goalkeeper. So let's have a look at that actually. How's that compared to Hull's passing? Yeah, you can see their players. 1,000 yards of passing, but only 300 going forward. It's all sideways shit passing out. And you can see here, look, Brian Allsop 827, only 593 of that is going forward. But when you compare that to Bart's is basically all of these things going forward. 281 from 232. So there you go. Short passing, medium passing, long passing. So yeah, Zion Fleming's medium passing not too good. What else stands out there? Anything? Not really. Short passing there from Tom Bradshaw not really working out. 0 and 1. Everyone else, their short passing's on point. Seemingly. Long balls. Long balls. Not with Jake Cooper not working out. So yeah, I think he's just pinging them forward. And what was that? Ryan Leonard, 53.8. Joe Brighton's long balls, 36.4% off 11 attempts. Okay. Let's just quickly scroll through this because okay. So tackles, so we've seen tackles, but how many did the players actually try and do? So we've got Zion Fleming, 3 attempts at tackling, 0 wins. Jake Cooper, 2 and 3. Okay. Well, they're called challenges. I don't know how that compares to actual tackles because you've got tackles in challenges. So, all that, what the difference is? Oh, that's someone who's dribbling at you. Okay, possession wise, touches of the ball and where they were. So Damian Maku, 4 touches the ball in the attacking penalty area, 6 in the attacking third. Okay, now let's try this last tab. Okay, we've got Romain Esse, 2 aerial duels attempted, 0 wins. Same with Brooke Norton Cuffey, 0 from 1. Alan Campbell, 0 from 1. And here's the long balls, why they didn't work out. Kevin Nisbet, 0 from 3. Damian Maku, 0 from 4. So these are where the aerial duels was won by Hull. The entire front line from Millwall didn't win an aerial duel except for Tom Bradshaw, who's the closest thing we have to a target man. 2 from 4, and that's only 33%. How is that 33%? 2 from 4, that's 50%. These figures are a bit sus, bruv. That doesn't add up. So there you go. Now, if we just scroll down and have a look at how the keeper got on, like I said, it looks like he made one save, yeah. So they had 3 shots on target against him. 2 goals against, 1 save. That's 33.3%. Post shot expected goals from the goals that came on him was 1.6. So the 2 goals is fair enough. Launched 11 attempts at launching the ball, only 27.3 completed. As we've seen, the aerial duels were won by the whole defence and not the Millwall attack, which is probably why we started playing it on the floor in the second half. He launched half of his passes. He threw 3 times. Average length of 38.1 of his passes. From his goal kicks, he launched all of them, 100%, 5 of them, and 70 yards average. Not bad, not bad. That's pretty good. Obviously, but if he's kicking it 70 yards to Kevin Nisbet, who didn't win the aerial duel, then what's the point? Crosses from the whole, opposition crosses, 7. How many stopped? 0. His average distance from the goal line, 4 yards. So he's not really coming off his line. If we go to the hole keeper, you can see 3 goal kicks launched. He had 48 passes, and the average length was 30 yards. Oh dear. Now, if we go down to the shots, we're going to finish with this. If you're still watching, God bless you. If you're still awake, even more so. Here are the goals and the shots. You can see in the second half, stands out for me right away. Hull City only having 1 shot in the second half that was off target from 28 yards in the 52nd minute, just before we scored. Yeah, so it looks like they were trying to defend for 45 minutes. So good luck with that. We know how that works, being Millwall fans under Neil Harris. That didn't work out when we tried it either, so good luck with that. So here you can see, so Mill's goal, 3 yards out with his left foot, Duncan Watmore. That was a 0.34, so that was a pretty bang on shot. Their goal. Before that, they had one that was saved. A right foot volley from 22 yards that was saved. That was one that Bart saved. And then the goal they scored, that was 0.5 xg, so that was even better than Duncan Watmore's chance, it was only 12 yards out. And then the other goal, 0.39 xg, 9 yards out, left foot, Damo Traore. And you can see, other than that, so in the first half, other than the goals, like nothing on target. From Millwall, we got Alan Campbell off target from 8 yards. Oh, that was a side netting one, was it? Yeah, I thought that was in. Should really be getting that on target from 8 yards. If you're not, because if you're not, here's the thing: if you've got it on target, because he's trying to find the perfect pass into the top corner. But as you've seen with Zion Fleming, if you just kind of, and Kevin Nisbet to some extent as well, you just getting on target, even if you're like not power playing it and just passing it towards the goal into one of the corners, or just, they've got to deal with it. So he's got to save it, and he saves it for a corner, we get a corner. If he saves it and it goes back into the area, then we get a chance with the second ball. That's why they tell you to win your second balls. But if you're trying to find the top corner and you blast it and it hits the side, then that's not helpful to anyone. So it would have been better if you just side footed it softly towards the goal, and we could have got the scraps off of that. But hey ho. Kevin Nisbet had a shot blocked from 10 yards out, right foot volley, and then got Zion Fleming at the end of the half, but off target, 21 yards. Coming out in the second half, we're going through. We've got a Casper de North from 28 yards saved. We've got Jay Cooper off target. Again, their shot was off target from 28 yards. And then we've got Joe O'Brien with the goal from 14 yards out, left footed. Brilliant goal. After that, we got another saved effort. So that was on target from Kevin Nisbet. That was 11 yards header. Then after that, we've got all Millwall. It's all Millwall from the rest of the half. Off target from Ryan Lender from 25 yards. Off target from Bradshaw 9 yards. Blocked from Jake Cooper with his head from 14 yards. Romain Esse off target for 20 yards. And Naomi Maka with that brilliant chance to get the win. You can see how good a chance it was. 0.23 XG right there. That was well, it was going by the list here. That was the fourth best chance. So Joe Bryan's goal was quite a lucky chance because he went through some Hull City feet into the corner of the goal. That was only a 0.9 XG. Doma's chance was 0.23, which is just a bit down from Duncan Watmore's chance, which was 3 yards out. So, but yeah, that was off target with his right foot from 15 yards. What can you do? What can you do? That would have been the cherry on the cake. For him to score again, like he scored against Norwich, and he set up the goal against Middlesbrough. But not to be. So he's off to Ireland under 21s now. Hope he does well. Hope all the players do well, and see them coming back in good health. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.